That's right, kids. We have entered the building. My name is Tim Radicek, and this is WNUR-FM Evanston in Chicago. We're taking it over here at the Freeform Programming on WNUR, and we're going to turn it around. What you just listened to was a little bit of Black Sabbath covers from Biohazard. Jay, do you remember Biohazard?
I do remember Biohazard, Tim.
And the legend, one Mr. Rob Zombie, performing Children of the Grave. Very, very classic and timeless tunes from the Black Sabbath. We also would like to mention that it is 23 years since Cypress Hill's album, Black Sunday. So we're going to play a little bit of that as well later. As we are also... Oh, boy. It's from the bong.
It's from the bong.
Oh, Jay, welcome to the show. I'm glad.
Thank you for having me, Tim. And we made it here, man.
Yeah,
it's like a monsoon out there.
It is. It is Sunday morning, July 24th, and there is a torrential downpour in the city today. As of right now, it's she's looking at about 6 to 12 inches.
Hey.
Or maybe more.
Never mind the 6. Tell me about the 12 inches, baby.
You'll get it after about 10 thrusts.
Hey.
We also would like to dedicate this portion of the show to one Mr. Garry Marshall.
Absolutely.
Not only was he a legendary figure in Hollywood, but he was also a Northwestern alum.
Yes, he was.
He graduated.
And his offspring was too.
Yes, currently he's got a
granddaughter.
Family. Yeah,
yes.
A granddaughter who is going to be...
Will be a junior.
Junior.
She'll be a junior this fall.
This fall.
Yes, sir.
Garry Marshall was also a philanthropist for Northwestern after he left, and he donated some money and some time to the studio that you hear us broadcasting from live at John J. Lewis Hall here, the
Barbara and Garry Marshall studio wing, which we're sitting in right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what better way to remember his spirit and his hard work and dedication to the entertainment industry than be sitting here and talking about his life. I mean,
absolutely. Without whom we would not be sitting in these fantastic facilities that are paid for. We just need donations once a year to continue the broadcasting here at WNUR-FM. I want to read a little bit from the WNUR About page about Garry Marshall and what WNUR means to the rest of the planet, or actually Radio Land. The history so far is that as of May 2015, WNUR celebrated its 65th birthday and officially became a senior citizen. Who wrote this? Our station has had a long-lasting and influential presence in the Chicagoland area during its 65-year operation. WNUR first broadcast out of the Annie Mae Swift Hall basement. Wow. Back in May 8th of 1950. We originally operated using a 10-watt transmitter and reached Evanston, Skokie, and some parts of Chicago. WNUR's slogan from 1982 to 95 was The New Music FM. Since 95, we've adopted the tagline, Chicago's Sound Experiment. In March of 2007, WNUR moved into the new studios in the Garry and Barbara Marshall wing of Northwestern's John J. Lewis Hall, where we have since operated and are currently operating. Many of WNUR's programs have their own unique histories within the Northwestern and Chicagoland communities. We encourage you to explore their websites and learn more about how each of our shows positively impacts its listeners. The mission is to provide a forum for underrepresented music and ideas.
We have both of those.
We do. Not so much the underrepresented music, but the idea part, yeah. Jay, you also had a little something you wanted to read about Mr. Garry Marshall?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody knows about his fame.
Legendary TV shows such as Happy Days, Mork and Mindy,
Laverne and Shirley, and then he also went on to direct some great romantic comedies, Pretty Woman, Runaway Bride, The Princess Diaries, and Garry Marshall, even though he's a native New Yorker, he graduated with a bachelor's degree from the Medill School of Journalism in 1956, and two of his children coincidentally received degrees from Northwestern School of Communication, and his third child received 2 degrees from Medill. We talked about his granddaughter. One of his granddaughters will be a junior this fall. And, he said that his films were celebrating the human spirit. And he's a lifelong... I mean, he was also a big supporter of Northwestern athletics. And it wouldn't be a strange thing for him to be sporting a Wildcat hat or sweatshirt.
No.
And he often sported those gears while on set and off. A life trustee of Northwestern University. Like you said, Tim, he had a hand in the creation of the several buildings here, and also he a major contributor to the recently constructed Ryan Center for the Musical Arts.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, just think about two of the biggest stars to cut their teeth, so to speak, in his shows and productions. From Happy Days and Mork and Mindy, you had the late, just celebrated his anniversary, was the great Robin Williams.
Yes, sir.
And his comedic genius. And also from Pretty Woman and Runaway Bride, another fellow Oscar winner, just like Robin Williams, was Julia Roberts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she became a household name because of such movies as Pretty Woman.
And Richard Gere is still fighting off.
What? Rumors of him and gerbils? Oh, that's
Yeah.
just you, man. You got to go there, don't you, man?
I had to.
Not the fact he was an officer and a gentleman and a stud. He was great in Primal Fear, which was made in Chicago.
Really good
Always
movie.
goes back to
Really
that damn gerbil, man.
Hey, man, I've been hearing them rumors since I was a kid. That was like the 80s.
He probably just wants to put those to rest, right?
I bet he does.
He probably wants to make his colonoscopy public thing.
Yeah. See, get some x-rays. Publicize them.
Right.
So there's a lot going on around Chicago this weekend, Jay. There's some
Yes, sir.
festivals. There's some concerts.
Lollapalooza's coming up soon.
That is true.
And I love, did you hear the creator, Mr. Jane's Addiction himself?
Oh, Perry Farrell?
Absolutely. Mr. Farrell say that he can't stand the electric dance music festivals and all that.
Oh, yeah, the EDM.
Yeah, and he says it makes his ears bleed. He said it's like nausea in his ears. and actually, he has some acts on his head. He says he can't stand that either, man. But it's a trend, man.
Well, the thing is, who are you going to have if you're not drawing anybody with anybody else,
Right.
Like, you need that EDM, because it's a whole genre of people. That's a whole underground scene, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen those girls wear those cute little tutus and those floral headsets looking like Sith the Sloth and stuff from from Ice Age.
Yeah.
And then they're all probably smoking up, dropping something, taking something, and just feeling the beats, right? Isn't that what it is? Just feel the beats?
that's it. You're there, on the mescaline or whatever it is you're taking. You're getting
I don't get it. I know friends of mine and everything that like to attend those certain shows and events. I just don't get the music. I mean, I'm used to going to a basement, a club, listen to the DJ like wiki like
Yeah.
scratch and all that, and
Yeah.
some house music and stuff. But the EDM, I don't get it.
There's a time and a place for it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't understand dubstep either, but I mean, it's a thing too.
Yeah, well, it's not as big a thing anymore. Like, it's the most impressive dubstep I've ever heard is people doing beatboxes to it, dude.
There we go.
You ever heard it?
I haven't, but I love beatboxing, man. Like Biz Markie, man. That's you're talking about the '80s, man. The stuff we were listening to growing up, man.
Beatboxing for me goes back to the Fat Boys, dude.
Right, that goes with Dougie Fresh, man.
Yeah,
Show. I mean, come on, you can't get any better than that.
For sure.
Absolutely. Speaking of hip hop, couple weeks we have the Hip Hop Gods tour at the Hollywood Amphitheater, Tinley Park. I'm going to be attending that. I can't wait to go. You have Public Enemy, which we'll be seeing in about a little less than a month, Timmer.
With the Prophets of Rage.
Absolutely, boy. I need to let out some rage, baby.
Man, I just want to hear, Be Real, do Rage songs.
Absolutely. One of my favorite covers is How Can I Just Kill a Man with Rage Against the Machine. And you got one of my favorite MCs, and not just that,
Chuck D.
Absolutely.
Hear the drummer get wicked.
That's right.
Man,
and Flavor Flav is the son. Public Enemy #1.
Hold it now.
I mean, talking about three music geniuses and gods in their own right, and can't wait to go with that. Man, we're gonna have a good time, brother.
I can't wait, sir. So once again, we pay a fine tribute to one Mr. Garry Marshall.
Yes, R.I.P., sir.
Created this TV show as well, a genuine classic, man.
Felix and Oscar.
You ever see the movie with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon?
Oh, man, that was something classic. Two dirty old men, man. You can't get any better than that.
Rest in peace to both of them.
Both of them, absolutely.
As well as Garry Marshall, who is survived by his wife, Barbara, and his sister Penny, who's out there still making
love Penny Marshall, man.
Television. Also,
the League of Their Own, man. You can't beat that. There is no crying in baseball.
You see how it works is the train moves, not the station.
Well, we make more. We make more than. Wait, it was the line from John Lovitz and everything, and he's like, "We don't even make that much with the milk in and stuff." Well, that would be more now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Love me some John Lovitz, man.
He's so cynical.
Love it.
So we got some sports to cover later. Cubs,
Absolutely.
Sox trades, rumors.
And we got the Crosstown Classic coming up next week too, Timmer.
That's right. I was supposed to go, but I'm gonna be out of town all next week.
Oh man.
I'll
attend in your spirit, brother.
Yeah, dude. I was in Kentucky all last week.
Kentucky.
Boy, it was hot. It was murdersome hot.
It's
outside.
hot here, man.
Oh god. And then we're looking for a whole new week of heat.
Oh man, it's not going to be as bad now, from what I hear. I did see the weather forecast. Some days are going to be in the upper 80s to 90s. Some days will be lower. I'm worried about at night. I don't want to crank that AC any more than I have to.
No, dude. I've been running it since I got home Friday already, and I'm already
you poor
worried.
Bastard, you.
I'm already worried what the bill's going to look like.
That's exactly why I take 2-3 showers at night and I had the fan on. I don't care if I wake up butt naked, man. Hey, man, I'm comfortable. It's in my house, baby, my castle.
It got so hot before I had air conditioning. I would get a towel, soak it in cold water, and then throw it on my back, and then put the fan on.
Yeah, oh, man. Poor man's AC, man.
That's
I feel
right,
you there, bro. Nothing wrong with that, man. I'm admitted. Like I said, 2-3 showers, and I don't care how dry my skin gets. I'm actually Larry after that, man. I don't care.
Actually, Larry.
I gotta stay hydrated and cool, man. So you keep cool out there. Check on your pets. Check on your seniors.
Man, every hour you should be drinking like a 16-ounce bottle of water at least.
What about 16-ounce glass of beer?
You could do that.
It dehydrates you, though, so drink some water.
Yeah.
Absolutely drink water.
And then when you're drunk and it's that hot outside, you act like a bigger dummy.
It's a worse hangover, too, when you're dehydrated and drunk.
So, also in Chicago sports later, we got a Holly Holm fight, her first since she lost. She happens to be in Chicago tonight.
Absolutely she is. Yeah, training here, too, from what I hear.
Yeah, so we'll talk whether or not if she won that fight or not against the Russian, the crazy Russian.
The Ruski.
But in the meantime, Richard Roper has been accosted for his Ghostbusters review. Jay, I told you I saw this movie.
You did? Yeah, I didn't hear that. I didn't know that, Tim.
Oh, no?
All right.
Well, Richard Roper shares my sentiments exactly, and I'll play that clip for you here, and we'll talk about it. Yes, sir. So Roper is being called a misogynist all the way down to, like, he doesn't know a thing about movies, which is probably not true since the Sun-Times employs him, and
I'm going to have to disagree on that, man. He basically was writing on the late Roger Ebert's coattails for a long time.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he's still an established critic.
Yeah, but nobody had the passion. I never read somebody more passionate in their craft than the late Roger Ebert. I loved his writing, and I thought just the way he described, he just painted a picture. And I wish I loved anything as much as Ebert loved movies, man. To me, he was the best of the best. Was Roger Ebert.
He was a big deal in Champaign when I was down there.
Absolutely,
because I guess they put on a movie festival every year.
Absolutely.
I'm sure Ebert would have said the same thing about this movie, though.
You don't know that.
I do know
a lot,
dude.
You know that he liked. Speaking of Rob Zombie, that he actually gave. He gave the oh my
Devil's
God,
Rejects?
Thank you. He gave it a thumbs up, man.
Yeah,
when a lot of movie panned it, it was a good movie.
Right, but man, the reviews and the criticisms are unanimously aligned, dude. Like everybody who's a major critic has seen this film and have said almost similarly to what Roper's gonna tell us right here. So let's listen, and you can critique for yourself.
Okay.
It's okay. She seems peaceful. My name is Erin Gilbert, Doctor of Particle Physics. Kind
of a Ghostbusters vibe in Chicago tonight. I'm here to review the new version of Ghostbusters, which of course is actually set in New York,
put on weight.
Like the original. So much buzz about this movie, positive and negative, before it ever came out. It was the most hated trailer ever on YouTube. Some people thought, why would you do this with an all-female cast? Is that a gimmick? Then people were complaining about Leslie Jones as the African-American cast member. Is she being reduced to a secondary role? Put all of that aside for a second. Let's talk about the movie, which is absolutely, positively dreadful.
Abysmal.
Terrible. What a disappointment. Kristen Wiig, Kate McKinnon, Melissa McCarthy, and Leslie Jones are the new Ghostbusters. This is pretty much a standalone.
I want to pause it. There's in the trailers for the movie before it came out, there's like 30 seconds of stuff that's not even in the movie.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You gotta wait for the DVD extras, brother.
No, it was cut it was like scenes they shot just for the trailer and then didn't put in the movie.
Story.
They
there
do
are
this
a lot of
in
little
Hollywood.
visual and audio references to the original film. It just misfires on every single level. Kate McKinnon in particular, who I think is wonderful on Saturday Night Live,
she's awesome.
Gives one of the worst performances of the year in any movie, overplaying everything she does. A little bit of a spoiler alert here. You've heard about, a lot of the original Ghostbusters cast members, including Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts making cameos. They do, and all four
Rick
of them
Moranis
are
wanted nothing to do with
and
this.
distracting and take us out of the movie. The story itself goes nowhere. The villain is the least interesting villain ever. The special effects are actually really mediocre.
That's
and
stupid,
we get a lot of corny lines like, "It's working and we need to get them out of here," just telling us what we're already seeing on screen. I knew there might be some problems with this, but there's so many talented people involved in this film. I was really hoping to say, guess what? Ghostbusters actually kicks ass. Instead, the reality is it's one of the worst movies of the year. It just drops dead.
So a Razzie
and lays
contender,
there
huh?
dead like a rotting corpse from start to finish. I'm giving it a D-, 1 star for Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call? Not this movie.
Man.
Well, I mean, come on. The original is a cult classic, man.
Yeah, but Sony can't win with their last couple of movies, dude. Like, look at all that. The one with Seth Rogen about the North Korea thing.
What, The Interview?
Yeah.
I thought that was semi-enjoyable.
It was, but all the hype, all the...
Well, that was because of the hype and everything, because they were banning it because of the content actually saying that they killed off Kim Jong-un.
Right. And
so,
then,
I mean, of course there's going to be the backlash. That made the movie even more interesting. Like, you had to see it. So talk about freedom and everything. They hacked into the emails and everything. So it was, I don't know, man. I'm always going to support the female leads and everything. And of course, they were talking about like all these females. Oh, yeah, why not?
It's a crap movie, Jay.
I know. I still haven't seen it. I'm going to see it. I want to see it.
You're going to be
and
like,
I'm one of the few actually that has voiced their opinion. Saying I just on social media, I've said I'll give it a chance, man. I love Melissa McCarthy. She's a local gal. I love Kristen Wiig. I liked what they did, Paul Feig, what he did with The Heat, and then before that, the breakout movie Bridesmaids. So I mean, I'll support that. Leslie Jones to me is absolutely hysterical. I love Kate McKinnon and the different characters that she plays on SNL. I mean, I'll support the movie. I mean, I don't know if necessarily like they needed a reboot, but it's going to have the same criticism because they thought about doing the Seth Rogen, Paul Rudd, Jason Segel and Jay Baruchel, or maybe even a Jonah Hill reboot.
Yeah.
They would have got just as much criticism, man. So you got to do it with the chicks, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, what it looks like is that Sony was going to run their lease out on the intellectual property for Ghostbusters.
Right.
Like, it would have been up for auction again in a year or so.
Okay.
So they were like, well, we need to make a movie. Let's go all out and change everything around, everything that you loved about the movie.
Right.
We'll replace all the characters with women.
Right.
All the ghosts, like even Slimer gets a girlfriend in this movie, dude. It's like, what is going on?
Like Miss Pac-Man, basically, huh?
Yeah, it's
right.
nuts, dude. I mean, kids will enjoy it, but there are some adult jokes in there. Like I mentioned, did I tell you the one about it's from the front?
No.
I'll let you watch it.
I'll check it out, man. Like I said, I'm not necessarily going to watch it at the theater, but I'll probably wait till it comes to the dollar show or maybe even to Redbox, which I love. So, yeah, but I'll give it a chance. I'm a comedy fan, first
the
and
old
foremost.
Portage Theater.
Or something, man.
Yeah.
There's one out there by you, man, the one that picture show there on Bloomingdale.
Yeah, they're closing it up after this year.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I used to go to Tuesday nights for dollar show. You used to be able to see a 3D movie for like $2-3, man.
Yeah.
It was packed. Yeah, it's not ads because they're showing movies that you can probably download on your computer or laptop.
What movie can't you download?
That's very true, man. Yeah, but nothing like going to the music place and getting your popcorn and your soda on.
The whole thing is it's an event. You go out, you socialize a little bit.
Right.
You
know what they should have done is made it one of those Bruin views and stuff. Added liquor, added food.
The Vic Theater used to do that.
Yeah.
The Bruin View. Like,
absolutely.
What happened to that? Why can't we do that anymore?
There's so many places. They're high-end places, man. It's like a silver fork place, man.
Yeah.
They're forking over like hundreds of bucks and stuff.
Yeah, because they want you to eat steak and potatoes while you watch.
Of course they do, and have martinis and stuff. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to do this to be watching, I don't know, man, the new...
What's that? Yeah, what's that one that's over there in Rosemont?
That's the Movie Co.
Yeah, Movie
man.
Co. Yeah.
That's right by our meeting place over there, by your old stomping grounds, Zanies, and by my jobs over there, man.
Toby Keef's.
Toby Keefe.
Toby Teefless's. So we got one more story from Chicago, and then we'll go to our first music break.
This guy. Brucey, you've been a bad boy.
Man, he just can't stay out of the news with his comments, dude. He's within the last couple of weeks, I guess he was quoted as saying that teachers are virtually illiterate.
Oh, boy.
And after being pressed by the public as to why he would call CPS teachers illiterate, like, those are the ones that are leading the future generations of your city, of your, should be the capital, but Springfield is for some reason. Who knows why. But from the AP, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner apologized this Friday for a 2011 email. Wow, they dragged that up out of,
Of course they did.
In which he characterized Chicago public school teachers as virtually illiterate, principals as incompetent, but said he was frustrated by the pace of change in the nation's third largest school system. Well, that's because it's a government-run school system. Before the Republican governor could even make an apology, several protests interrupted his opening remarks at his signing ceremony for 2 education-related bills. Rauner stood silently behind a podium and tried to awkwardly suppress a smile as protesters stood up one after the other, reading statements, including one who called his comments inflammatory and challenged the governor to a reading contest. Yeah. Let me be very clear. I apologize for this statement that I made in the email 2011. He said in response to the questions from reporters moments later, the remarks there were inaccurate and intemperate. And I apologize to the teachers. Rauner, a longtime advocate for school reform, has been a frequent critic of Chicago public schools, and the city's teachers union, even likening some schools to almost crumbling prisons, in quotes. Man. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I felt like a prisoner in school when I went to CPS. He called for a state takeover of the financially troubled school district in February. The article continues. He wrote that teacher evaluation is critically important, but in a massive bureaucracy with a hostile union, I don't know if it's hostile, are virtually illiterate. A complex, multi-dimensional evaluation system with huge subjectivity in it will be attacked, manipulated, and marginalized. The status quo will prevail. I guess that was the inflammatory remark. Rauner said Friday he was supportive of teachers, but that his goal was to see good teachers in every classroom and more school choice for parents so no students are locked in a failing school.
Well, I mean, you want every school to progress. You want every student to pass, and you want these, youngins to be the leaders of our country. Yeah. And to have, their future secure, and that starts from the bottom up. So
it really does. It really doesn't help when Rahm's first order of business is to come in and shut down 53 schools.
Of course doesn't. Yeah.
And to bring in a superintendent who had a 95% no tolerance vote from his peers in New York. They were like, man, we got to get rid of this guy, and they voted him out. And Rahm's like, hey, you're the perfect
come right
guy.
Over here, man.
You're the right guy for this job.
And you're gonna come cheap too, so I know you need a job, man.
Yeah. We'll fly you out here. Don't worry about it.
Of course. And on our tax dollars, too, by the way.
So that's going to do it for our first segment here. This is WNUR's freeform programming, and I must mention that portions of WNUR's programming may be considered inappropriate for some of the more sensitive and younger listeners out there in Radio Land. If you're offended by 4-letter words like damn or
hell or pud,
yeah, you might want to tune to like 96.3.
Why?
I don't know.
Unless Eddie and Joe are on there, I really don't care.
Man, I miss them guys, dude.
I miss them too, man. Big shout out to you, Eddie Volkman, man. You're doing your thing on AM radio, CKG, Drive, brother.
Yeah, his dad was legendary too.
Oh my God, absolutely. You know what? It's funny to say, man. Right now with the Storms, man, he'd be giving us all the best info, man.
He would, yeah,
absolutely. And Tom Skilling and Steve Baskerville.
Northwest.
All right, he was God bless, man. Harry Volkman, man.
Yes, sir. Also, God bless Garry Marshall.
Absolutely.
And God bless everybody.
Robin Williams. Just 2 years ago, we lost a great comedic genius, one of my favorite actors of all time.
So we say farewell to those legends, and we're going to continue our Master of Reality morning here at WNUR. This is going to be some more Black Sabbath from Masters of Reality. Stay tuned, because we'll be back on the other side with some weird news that we gotta talk about, Jay.
We like talking about weird news, man. It keeps us entertained, man.
Check this out. WNUR-FM, Evanston in Chicago. My name's Tim Radicek. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hey, this is Big J. Okerson. You're listening. It's hilarious. Hey, this is Big J. Okerson. You're listening to Laugh or Else Radio. I don't know what the else is, but I'm looking at this guy, and it's probably involving butt stuff.
Laugh or Else Radio Show has been known to play some music and say some words that could be very well interpreted as inappropriate by some of the more sensitive and younger listeners out there in Radio Land. Fortunately for LOE Radio, WNUR-FM finds this type of talk, ideas, and media to be artistically and culturally significant for the greater good of mankind. We are only allowed to broadcast this type of entertainment between a very specific set of hours due to the current indecency tolerance of the faculty, which is, for some arbitrary reason, 11:30 p.m. to 6 a.m., rather than the official guidelines drawn up by the FCC regarding safe harbor for all of radio.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Saturdays, what a day. Moving on week for you. Welcome back to WNUR-FM, Evanston in Chicago.
I still prefer the Bill Haley and the Comets intro. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock.
What was? Yeah, that must have been later in the series.
No, that was before. It was before the song.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Pull it up, man. Go ahead. That to me is one of the original rock and roll songs ever, man. I love that song.
You said it was Bill Haley and the Comets.
And the Comets, man. Yeah. Check it out,
Haley
man.
and the Comets. Oh, I see what he did there. So we are.
Clock right there, bro.
We are celebrating the life and legend of one Mr. Garry Marshall.
Absolutely.
Without whom we wouldn't be sitting in this fabulous facility here at WNUR Studios on Northwestern's fabulous campus. Here. Just steps from Michigan, Lake Michigan. Bill Haley and the Comets, rock around the clock.
That's right. That's the intro to the original Happy Days.
Let's have a listen here.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock.
That is, that's the one I remember.
9, 10, 11,
Wow, yeah.
12 o'clock, rock, we're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
It was, this was also, the Happy Days was also like before, was it American Graffiti before Happy Days or after?
I want to say it was after.
Because it gave a bunch of them guys their
starts.
Yeah.
Ron Howard.
Yeah. What was his name? Richie Cunningham?
Richie Cunningham. Hey, watch it there now. Hey, watch. Sit on it, bucko.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Look out. Watch out for them 50 slangs.
That's right. Sit on it, Potsy.
Sit on it. Yeah, sit on it. Right here.
He's like, hey, Mrs. C.
Mrs. C. Hey.
That's when you were definitely afraid of a 5 foot. Hey, you were definitely afraid of a 5'2" short little Jewish man named Henry Winkler.
Yeah, dude.
Turn on anything with a snap of his fingers.
Yeah, or
a little elbow. Yeah, the jukebox. That's right.
That's funny.
Good stuff. Good times, man.
Yeah. So to the Marshall family, our thoughts and prayers are with you guys.
Absolutely.
Because, like I said, without whom Northwestern wouldn't have this beautiful facility here, where we can come in and saturate the airwaves with nonsense like we talk about. But in a not so happy days related post, we got to move on to some of the more intense news that has happened over the last week. Jay, it seems that every show, man, there's some huge event that is ultimately a tragedy, some sort of sabotage, some sort of senseless murdering, and it all starts with what I saw earlier this week of a therapist who had his hands up and he was shot right in the leg.
Right, trying to help out. It was an autistic, special needs individual.
This guy.
This one makes me more upset than anything because, Tim, I don't know if you know this, but I've actually worked with translating for schools and school programs that work with students that are deaf and hard of hearing and special needs. Yes, sir. So I've been around. I will never use the R word, the dreaded R word, describing somebody who is a dumbass.
Yeah.
Acts like a dumbass. I hate that word, but, God bless any person with special needs. They are some of the fairest, funniest, and most kind-hearted people you'll ever meet.
I know plenty of people. There's people in my family that have special needs issues.
Absolutely.
And, they're people just like you and I.
They are, absolutely.
They want to be treated like people.
Of course.
So don't act weird in front of them. Just treat
don't
them.
Use the R word, man. People don't want to use the F word when dealing somebody for their sexual orientation. Yeah. You don't want to use the F word. Don't use the R word when dealing somebody. If you're a dumbass, just call that person a dumbass.
Yeah. No reason to slander them
Absolutely.
with
right.
social specific names.
But this one really ticked me off. I can see. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to pass judgment on those other cases dealing with, somebody peddling cigarettes like they did in New York, or peddling, use or bootleg DVDs or CDs like in New Orleans, or, traffic altercation. But I mean, if you're actually doing it to help somebody else out and you don't know the situation, you assume they're up to no good, and you shoot them, basically without any just cause, that really just, that really pisses me off.
Well, the
man.
thing is, man, the cops are getting too itchy to shoot, man.
Big time.
I remember back in the day, it was like if you let off one bullet, you had to write 10,000 pages of
Absolutely.
reports as to why you shot anything.
Right.
You know?
So now it's what, shoot now, ask questions later?
I don't know. I think what it is like they take ex-military as police and they want to treat the public like it's some sort of combat zone, dude. It's not.
We are in a combat zone, man. Unfortunately,
I mean,
sorry to say.
Certain areas, sure. Chicago, like if you're in the South Side and you're wearing the wrong colors, you're gonna get shot.
Or on the West Side,
right?
North Side too, man. I mean, North Side has its fair share of problems too, man. And it just goes beyond the borders there. It's a cultural thing and it's a class thing, man.
Right. Well, it's more about poverty, dude. It's crime is a bigger issue where there's no money. Because people are stealing to get by. And I guarantee you eliminate poverty, 50% of all your problems are going to go away.
No.
But there's no money in solving poverty.
Of course there isn't.
So your politicians...
The rich get richer and the poor don't get a damn thing.
That's right.
And New Jack City said it, man.
The politicians will open facilities that make them money to help poor people somehow.
Right.
But it won't make them any richer or any wealthier in life or... any prosperous.
And don't be mistaken when they end up raising the minimum wage, Timmer and listening audience. All they're doing there is that you don't qualify for assistance anymore if you're making more money per hour.
Yeah, wow.
Doesn't mean you still can be working poor.
Right.
You're working to be broke.
You might work 16 hours a week at that $15 an hour. It doesn't have to be full time.
Of course not.
They just raise.
Well, not with the health insurance, man. People are cutting hours because they don't want to pay health insurance.
Then all of a sudden, McDonald's goes from 3 shifts to 6 shifts because there's they got 2 different shifts for every group of people. It's it's not gonna work. So in Miami, northern Miami, apparently a therapist was outside with a patient who had left the facility because they were upset. Autistic people can get upset over anything. It doesn't, and they don't really understand the rest of society, so they live kind of in a bubble, and they don't, when a cop approaches with guns drawn, it's not like they're not accustomed to this kind of behavior from anybody. So it's weird. They shoot the therapist who's on his back with his hands up, and the guy playing with something in his hands. I mean, they didn't shoot him because they obviously knew he was the guy with the autistic problem. So the first thing that I heard this guy say from the hospital bed is that when being shot, he asked, "Why'd you shoot me?" And the cop clearly said to him, "I don't know. I don't know why I shot you."
Right.
So let's go to some of the footage here.
Oh, man.
I haven't seen footage yet where they show this guy get shot, so there's probably not going to... YouTube isn't going to show that kind of stuff.
I hope not, man.
This is just
I didn't want to see the thing last week with the Paris in the truck, man.
Yeah, I didn't see. I tried to tell you not to watch it. So the cops are shouting, "Lay down on your stomach, lay down on your stomach." This guy's... The autistic guy doesn't know what's going on. He's just screaming like, "Shut up" to the cops.
Right.
This is a brave neighbor right here. So the cops got their guns drawn because they don't know what he's playing with, and the therapist is trying to tell him it's just a toy car. He says, "I am a behavior tech at the group home. That's all it is." The cops are like 30 yards from him with guns drawn, kind of triangulating their area.
Right.
The therapist is telling the patient to be okay.
And at this point, they already shot him.
They already shot him.
But why they shot the black boy and not the fat boy?
Well, I love the commentary from the video guy. because they shoot the therapist on his back with his hands up, and they're like, why did they shoot him?
Right.
And they're putting, from what they did...
Not a threat, nothing in his hands, not even yelling or making any type of, any type of scary type of movements or anything.
After they shoot him, they roll him on his belly and put 3 sets of handcuffs on him and wait 25 minutes before they call EMTs to help him. God. I don't understand it. Cops are shooting dogs at free will, dude.
They shot a dog at a kid's birthday party.
If you got a dog in your yard and the cops are there, they're gonna shoot it. If they
don't
need
say
to be,
that, man. I'm a homeowner and I love dogs, man.
If they need to be in your backyard and your dog's there and you're not around, they're gonna shoot it, dude. Everywhere they go, that they need to inspect some sort of crime or investigate something.
Not without a warrant, they better not. Not with anybody not home, they better not.
Dude, if they hear something break from inside your house and they're crossing out front of your house, they can walk right in your house because it's suspicious. That's horrible, man. Yeah, dude, like... If they deem something is suspicious and they need to investigate, you cannot stand in their way.
I really hope you're wrong. I have some family members in law enforcement. I really hope you're wrong about that.
Dude, if they walk by your door and smell pot, they can come in your house.
There's no reason for that because
I understand.
I'm actually, I don't do that.
I understand, but I'm saying if they
were
suspect a crime, they can come.
No, I understand. I know what you mean.
Like all these people at a traffic stop, they say they can't search your car. Once you're stopped, that's all.
Right, that's all they need.
What do they
Probable
call it?
cause.
Probable cause,
right.
Exactly.
If you're a big brown gentleman driving in the middle, leaving Evanston, you look like you fit the profile there, buddy. I've been actually, since I've been doing this with you, Tim, over a year now, that's one of my concerns here, man, leaving the station here at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, where you going?
Pulled over. Yeah, where you go? I'm going home, man. I'm going home, sir.
I get to say,
and I'll be like, I'm going home, sir. Going home, man. Thank you, please. I get accused from my superiors at my regular job for being a little too polite. There is no such thing, man.
So here's a little news clip of the guy from his hospital bed.
Now the department is under fire, and the Night Team's Alex DePrada was live
as it should be
outside North Miami PD with an exclusive interview with that victim. Alex.
Well, Craig, in that exclusive interview from this man's hospital bed,
this guy's dressed like he's going to the club, man. What's up with this?
With all officers,
it's like Danny Terrio from Dance Fever.
Hands up in the air,
popping my
but
collar.
He was shot anyway.
Looks like Pitbull.
Charles Kinsey laid in the middle of the road on his back, his hands in the air. North Miami police aimed their rifles at him.
Why?
Listen as he yells to the officers. He is
they were AR-15
and was trying to help a confused autistic man who wandered away from a group home. Kinsey says he complied with the officers' demands.
When I went to the ground, I'm going to the ground just like this here with my hands up. And I'm laying down here just like this. And I'm telling him again, sir, there's no need for firearms.
We got video. It don't matter, though.
He's guy. He had a toy truck in his hand.
Police were called to the area by someone who claimed there was a man with a gun.
Oh, God.
Kinsey says there was no gun.
The police's
just
excuse
his client
every time.
holding a toy truck, which was clearly visible to the officers.
Right.
I was really more worried about him than myself. Because I'm looking at, as long as I got my hands up, they're not going to shoot me.
They'll shoot the crazies first.
They're not going to shoot me. Wow, was I wrong?
The only guns he has on his arms, man, that guy looks like Shannon Briggs, the boxer.
He wasn't caught on camera, but he says he had his hands up.
It was caught on camera.
When he hit me, I'm like, I still got my hands in the air. I said, no, I just got shot. And I'm standing there, I'm like, sir, why did you shoot me? And his words to me, he said, I don't know.
Kinsey says the officers rushed him, patted him down, found there was no weapon, and then handcuffed him.
They flipped me over, and I'm face down in the ground with cuffs on, waiting on the rescue squad to come. I say about 20 minutes took the rescue squad to get there. And I was, bleeding. I mean, bleeding. And I was like, wow.
7 News was there as Kinsey was taken to Jackson Memorial Hospital.
Who do we serve? Our community. Who do we serve? Our community.
The Circle of Brotherhood, a group that aims to solve problems in the community, and Kinsey is a member of, protested outside the North Miami police station Wednesday. Kinsey's lawyer is outraged.
There's no justification
better get paid
for shooting an unarmed person who's talking to you and telling you that they don't have a gun and that
he wasn't cooperating. He was resisting.
Kinsey wants a full investigation and wants to know why the officer fired.
my life flashed right in front of me.
Because I was told to
what I mean?
shoot
'Cause
first.
When he hit me,
Ask questions
my
later.
first thing I'm thinking about my family.
They weren't. They don't give a damn.
Well, we asked North Miami Police Department for a comment after we first aired some of this cell phone video at 6 o'clock. They have not responded, but earlier in the
trying
day,
to make up their
in a
story.
written statement, they said the state attorney is investigating. We're live in North Miami tonight. I'm
An
Alex
internal
Soprano,
investigation,
7
nonetheless, probably.
19.
And of course, he'll get a paid vacation.
Of course.
Come back and shoot somebody else for no reason, and then you get another paid vacation. What is this with the paid vacations, man?
That's what that's the protocol, man. It's in their union contracts.
Can't you send them to a different precinct? Like, I'm sorry,
like the
man.
Catholic priests that are accused of molesting the altar boys?
Yeah, but in this
Probably
case,
not.
you send them to, like, Gomer Pileville, where there's only like 5 people you
Send
can...
them to Paul Blart University.
Yeah. So I don't know what to say, man. The aggression from the police is getting very
Horrible, man.
very
Horrible.
militaristic, while they increase all the damaging equipment they're carrying. It's just becoming I don't know, man. I guarantee within the next 30 years we're going to have some sort of passports to travel between states.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's like it was in Europe.
You might as well get one now, Tim. You got, license plate from out of state. They have every reason to follow you, man. It could be a rent-a-car. They don't care.
All right, so we got a few more stories we need to talk about.
All right.
Kind of a similar tone. Poor Germany.
Yeah, poor Germany, man.
Within a week of one attack coming from a train, it was a train bound across Germany, and brutal axe attack from an Afghani refugee on the train. He claimed something like 9 victims. According to The Guardian, the elder daughter of the Yao family, not to be confused with Yao Ming, whose name is actually Ming.
Ming Yao, yeah.
Yeah. Told local media that her parents tried to defend her sister's boyfriend when the axe-wielding teenager went for him. Originally, the assailant was attacking my sister's boyfriend, and when my mother and father saw, they went up to get in the way, and then they got injured. Sylvia, 30, told Hong Kong-based Apple Daily newspaper Tuesday night. Both the boyfriend and Edmund A. Jung, 30, and Sylvia's 62-year-old father are in intensive care with serious head injuries, the paper reported. Her sister Tracy and mother 26 and mother 58 were also injured, while Sylvia's 17-year-old brother was unharmed. The 17-year-old attacker injured a total of 5 people in the assault Monday, which was claimed by the Islamic State group. Of course, everything that happens now is some sort of Islamic State terrorism. I wonder why that is. I actually can tell you, but that's for a different show. A video released by the group Tuesday purportedly shows Mohammed Rayad, knife in hand, announcing he would carry out an operation in Germany and presenting himself as a soldier of the Salafate.
A madman in Germany? You don't say.
What the hell is a Salafate? Let's go to Google search. Salafate is an area containing an Islamic steward known as a Salaf.
What is a Salaf?
I don't know. I'm not interested. Sylvia and her husband, who traveled to Germany on Tuesday night, accompanied by officials from Hong Kong's immigration department, told how their family had been enjoying the holiday just before the attack. My father-in-law's friends received pictures and said they were having loads of fun. Sylvia's husband, who was not named. The attack happened around 9:15 p.m. on the train between the town of Trutschlingen and Würzburg in Bavaria, southern Germany. Witnesses said the carriage looked like a slaughterhouse, with victims' blood covering the floor. The teen attacked a woman walking her dog along the river as he tried to flee the train. She's also now fighting for her life. He was then shot dead by police as he began to attack officers with the axe.
No, that's the reason you shoot somebody.
There you go.
That's
Guys,
a reason to shoot somebody.
A nut with an axe who's already hacked at
Right.
5 people.
Of course.
Shoot.
Yes. That's the person you shoot, not some poor individual who's making less than some fast food workers want to make.
But even still, man, I would be like, bring him in alive. I want him prosecuted.
Right.
I don't want him dead because it's an easy way out for him.
What happened to tasing people billy clubs to the kneecaps. Man.
Actually, a report in Chicago says that police tasings are up 40-something% in recent months. So, maybe you'll be lucky enough to be tased by a cop here in Chicago.
No, man, that was an invitation to me. I'm just saying overall, those people that are suspect.
We got more tragic news out of Germany to cover. There was a gunman. Another such shooting had taken place in Munich, this time at a shopping mall. Iranian teenager who shot dead 9 people in Munich was deranged lone gunman obsessed with mass killing. I don't like how they paint these people. Like, we don't know this is true or accurate.
Right.
Who knows what influence he had when he shot his gun. Because, it seems like every time there's a mass shooting, there always happens to be a manifesto. Like the one dude who shot the cops, the black kid recently. Did you hear about this?
The one where
the ex-military kid.
Or Dallas?
No. This was this week. It was where
New Orleans.
He was ex-military.
Yeah, 3 cops.
PTSD.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're claiming or whatever. But
that
still,
I can believe.
I understand it, but it seems like every time somebody dies, there's a manifesto just appears out of nowhere. It's bull.
Yeah. Watch it now, sir.
7 of his victims were themselves teenagers who police said he may have lured to their deaths via a hacked Facebook account on what was their 5th anniversary of twin attacks by Norwegian mass murderer Anders Breivik that killed 77 people. If you don't know that story, that's insanity right there. 77 people. This guy did more damage than the Pulse nightclub. The Munich shooting, in which a further 27 people were wounded, some seriously, was the 3rd act of violence against civilians in Western Europe and the 2nd in southern Germany in 8 days, as we mentioned the Axe attack on the train. Bavarian State Crime Office President Robert Heinberger said the gunman, who German media named Ali David Sanbali, was carrying more than 300 bullets in his backpack and pistol when he shot himself. That's another. Why would he shoot himself after killing all these people? Munich police witnessed the suicide at 8:30 p.m. and only police, I'm assuming. The police force said on Saturday, following a police search of the attacker's room where a book on teenage shooting sprees was discovered. Man, it just all happens to fall in place, right? Munich police chief Hubertus Andre all but ruled out the Islamic militant link to the attack. It goes on to say, but Interior Minister Thomas de Maizière said it was also too early to associate the Munich shootings with Breivik, who in 2011 shot dead 69 attendees at a youth summer camp, hours after murdering 8 others by detonating a van bomb in Oslo. Damn, dude. It's just getting perpetually more crazy. No. The lengths that people are going to cause destruction to other people, innocent people, is getting overboard. It's over the top already. It reminds me like some Grand Theft Auto type violence.
That's what it is. Senseless, man. That's
yeah,
all what
but
it is.
It's getting too common.
Yeah.
What are we going to do, man? There's the argument about guns. Guns just killing more people.
Anything. It's not going to solve anything.
But it will protect you, man, in a situation. If you're in a gas station, you got a piece under your shirt, and somebody comes in waving a gun, at least you've got that protection.
Right, and if I started shooting off and everything, and I hit an innocent bystander or some poor child in a car, I wouldn't be able to live with myself, Tim. You don't have any kids.
I understand that.
Do you have kids?
No.
Neither do I.
Not that I know of.
Do you feel safe the way the state of the country is right now of this world to bring a child into this world?
Hell no.
Neither do I.
No, sir. I will not be having any children.
Neither do I.
Look, dude, like a couple years back, the police were shooting at the suspect out front of the Empire State Building, hit 9 civilians or citizens just casually shooting out front. You don't shoot in that kind of an area. Like, you got to chase that dude, man.
Right.
Catch him. Beat his ass.
Of course.
So there's that, and then
it's easier to shoot them. That's the problem, though. To them, it's easier to shoot them.
So I mean, the answer to all this craziness is not to make more police or to make more laws. What do we do, man? What do we do?
What do we do? That's a good question.
We spread the message of peace and love. I mean, you could say that all you want, but it's not going to do nothing because you need to take action of some kind.
Right.
And I don't know what actions to take other than to barricade myself in my apartment for the rest of my life. I'm afraid to go anywhere. I don't want to travel anywhere. It's,
How can we blame you, man?
Between the cops, the TSA, the terrorists, what is this country gonna do, man?
No, not a clue.
Just to build an iron dome around the country and don't let nobody.
Isn't that what Trump wants?
No, because people can still climb walls, dude.
Right. Or do tunnels underneath. We talked about that as well.
Yeah. So you need a bubble, like
the Simpsons.
Yeah. Dome. Yeah. That's crazy.
Bam.
So one more. And we're going to change the pace a little bit. This is probably the most cunning troll to ever hit the internet, dude. I was listening to this story on Nancy Grace earlier this week, who I love, dude. Just listening to her. You know what that means if there's blood on the doorknob and the little child has been involved in some nefarious activities. I hate her, dude, honestly.
I wasn't sure you're doing like a Southern white woman with a Bill Cosby-esque a little twang on it. You know, if the child is not going to do his coke and his Kodak and his pudding pop.
So here's some bullet points from the Daily Mail.
Don't say bullet.
I mentioned that this is probably the most cunning internet troll ever to hit the streets. Like, this is something I couldn't think of on my best day. Michelle Hadley, 29, of Ontario, is accused of arranging an attack where she put ads on Craigslist in a rape fantasy style, like the personal ads, like, hey, listen, I want to be raped. But she wasn't doing it for herself. She was doing it for her ex-boyfriend's current pregnant wife.
Wow.
So she kind of trolled this woman through Craigslist, but she also had to know every move she made throughout the day to know what time she's around.
Of course.
And like things in the Craigslist ad were like, if I say no or I don't know what you're talking about, just continue.
Just go along with it, right? This is part of the fantasy.
Part of the fantasy,
yeah.
Right. So
like the role-playing aspect of it.
She would reply to responders through the Craigslist ads saying, giving them all the encouragement they need. Police added she kept posting while on bail after being arrested. She had dated the unnamed woman's husband from 2013 to 2015. He met his wife after they broke up and are currently expecting a child. Hadley's now being held on $1 million bail and faces 11 charges. If found guilty, she faces life in prison. I'm not sure she deserves to be locked in a cage for life, but...
That is a hoe that went the extra mile.
Yeah, dude, like, that is... You want to talk about jealous, spiteful ex-lovers? This is it. So...
Yeah. Well, you remember, what was her name? The Long Island Lolita from back
in... yeah.
Hey, Joey Buttafuoco over here! Amy... Oh, my God. Not Schumer. No, not her. No. Her.
Now you got me thinking of what her name, Amy something.
Yeah. The Long Island Lolita. We know that story. Basically, she went to. We know everybody but her name, but yeah, she went back and shot her lover's husband in the face. Yeah. And that poor girl, man.
Amy Fisher.
They made a movie, man, about the story. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the Daily Mail story here. A pregnant Orange County woman was attacked in her own home, and her husband's ex-girlfriend put the home address in a fake Craigslist ad requesting a rape fantasy, police said Monday. Michelle Suzanne Hadley, 29, of Ontario, doesn't look too bad. Had already...
That's your response to a woman that has another pregnant woman raped? She's not that bad.
She doesn't look that bad.
Oh, man, Tim.
She doesn't look as awful as the things she's done.
You got to get some soon, Tim. Please, for both of our sakes, man.
Had already been breaking a protective order by stalking and threatening the pregnant woman, identified as Jane Doe, when she made the ads, authorities say. As a result, several of the men turned up at Doe's door looking to fulfill that quote fantasy.
They did, yeah.
And one of them managed to attack the pregnant woman before she could call for help. Hadley is accused of telling responders that the victim wanted the responders to have forcible sexual intercourse with her, even if she screamed or resisted, the Orange County DA said in the statement. Several of the responders showed up at Jane Doe's residence with the intention of raping the victim. You know, that's just a creepy fantasy to have.
That's disgusting, man.
And I don't know how willing I'd be to fulfill it. Like, I'd have to be with a girl for like 5 years and have done everything sexually with her, you know?
Well, I've, I don't know how open I want to be with this, but in previous relationship, you role play, you experiment.
Sure, you know, I'm a doctor, you're the nurse kind of thing.
Sure,
right.
Yeah, you know. I'm the student, you know, or I'm the teacher, you're the student, or vice versa, which is actually going on nowadays with hot teachers and underage boys.
I know.
But that's another story.
It's no longer a fantasy. It's
reality. It's more reality. But, you know, you do things to spice up the bedroom activities, and this can be one of them. But to do this with a complete stranger, and did they say it was the middle of the day?
I did.
That is some scary. Where the neighbor? Where's she live? Is she living somewhere basically out, you know, in the boonies, or... you know, somewhere that's very secluded, that has no neighbors and keeping an eye out? If you see some strange dude just...
Orange County is pretty popular, dude.
Very popular. I mean, that's some scary stuff, man. I mean, thought it took a village there, Hillary Clinton.
Authorities did not say whether Doe was hurt during this attack. Headley has been in a relationship with Doe's husband, described only as U.S. Marshal Service agent. Ooh. The couple had split up and began dating Jane Doe. Authorities say Headley had a protection order against her after a previous stalking incident threatening her child when the campaign of terror began. Okay, we got a campaign of terror. This wasn't a campaign of terror.
No,
it was just
not.
Malicious acts on the internet. The accused woman had allegedly been replying to responders pretending to be Jane Doe, giving them the woman's daily routine, sending them photos, and helping to arrange the planned rape. In fact, the OCDA said she was arrested for posting these ads on June 24th and was released on $100,000 bail, but had continued to post them while on bail. What is your goddamn problem? She has been charged with 11 counts. She received 1 felony count of stalking with the restraining order and a felony count of stalking, 1 felony count of criminal threats, and 6 felony counts of attempted forcible rape. I don't know how that works. Like, I understand you put the onus on her because she put the ads on Craigslist, but she did not participate in the physical attempts at all.
She didn't try to stop it either, though, Tim.
Well,
that's where her responsibility lies.
What are you going to do, show up at the house after you put the ads? Oh, wait, I was mistaken. This is the wrong...
That's a coward to do that, man. If you really have something against this woman, man, do it yourself, man.
Yeah,
that's what thing bugged me about people that are shooting just... You have a problem with somebody. Back in my day, speaking of, like, we're talking about how we
called them out front and you scrapped in the street.
Absolutely. And then after that, you're done. Either it's squashed or we got more beef.
Yeah.
One of the two. You can't have both.
Afterwards, somebody gets shot, but still.
Hopefully not.
Like dude from, what was it? White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
And he lost the basketball game.
Yeah.
He's like, Jerome, is that you?
He goes like this, and he's like, hey, give me your money. Raymond, is that you? No, this ain't Raymond.
She also received 1 felony count of assault with the intent to commit sexual offense during the commission of first-degree burglary and a misdemeanor count of violation of a protection order. With a sentencing enhancement allegation for crime, bail, crime. I have no...
Crime, bail, crime.
What does that mean?
Not a clue.
If convicted on all counts, she could face life in prison. She won't be convicted on all counts, but... Man, just move on with your life. The dude don't want you, so what are you going to do? Why are you going to ruin his life now when that'll just make it worse? He won't even talk to you.
This is it right here, Timmer. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Why
you should know this by now, man.
Why are women like... Look, I might be generalizing here, but the emotional reaction of women far exceeds what a dude's reaction would be.
Right.
She might have left him in the same fashion, but he'd be like, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to rage bang some prostitutes to get over it. She wants to go key his car, flatten all his tires, and then hurt his wife. What the?
That's what the, yeah, right. What the Fizznack?
Yeah. How, God damn.
What the Hussifus?
So, that's it. That's all I want to say on that. Like, people are crazy.
Right, don't go banging any psycho chicks, Tim.
If they're willing to do something that crazy on Craigslist, think of how easily it would be for them to pull out a gun and shoot somebody.
Of course.
Like, what the climate that we live in right now is it's bubbling over. We're in a boiling pot, and people are melting, and they're taking other people with them. So if you'd like to call the show, you could do so. Area code 847-866-9687 if you got some opinions to offer.
Or if you're a crazy psycho chick that'll go to extremes to get your man back. Tim is single.
Yeah. That's where I want to farm for potential candidates on the radio show with crazy females.
Hey, man.
So we are celebrating 45 years since the release of Black Sabbath's Master of Reality, arguably one of the best albums in history, I would say. And we're going to lead it off with a classic called Lord of This World. Check this out. It's WNUR-FM, Evanston in Chicago. Yeah. I'd also like to mention this is the LP version, so it sounds a lot better. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Ron Funch, you're no, that's not my name. Use this whole thing. This is Ron Funches, and you're listening to Laughs or Else. I don't know what the or else is. I assume it's like crying.
Laugh or Else Radio Show has been known to play some music and say some words that could be very well interpreted as inappropriate by some of the more sensitive and younger listeners out there in Radioland. Fortunately for LOE Radio, WNUR-FM finds this type of talk, ideas, and media to be artistically and culturally significant for the greater good of mankind. We are only allowed to broadcast this type of entertainment between a very specific set of hours due to the current indecency tolerance of the faculty, which is, for some arbitrary reason, 11:30 p.m. to 6 a.m., rather than the official guidelines drawn up by the FCC regarding safe harbor for all of radio.
That's right, kids. Laugh or Else Radio Show here on WNUR-FM, Evanston and Chicago. You're listening to the freeform programming featuring myself, Tim Radicek, and my road dog, J Sal, the mixologist.
What's up, Chicago?
J Sal, it's time to get into some sports, big dog.
All right, ready to do it, brother. I have some good sports news and some stuff on the sadder side. Starting off with some Bulls news, Timmer and radio listening audience. Tim, we are basketball champions here in Chicago.
We were.
As Bulls rookie guard Denzel Valentine, no relation to Trading Places Billy Ray Valentine.
Oh, wait. We're going to have to play that clip. Hang on.
All right.
Oh. See, I had to keep it that's why I'm wearing these bummy clothes. You had to make sure a dude had his payroll before I made my move. Tell us how you cut him. Yeah, I ain't cut him with no knife.
I ain't cut him with no knife.
You told me last night you cut the dude. With these, I cut him. I am a chain belt and Kung Fu Bruce Lee was my teacher. Watch this.
Man, what happened to Eddie Murphy?
He's rich, man.
He's not hungry. That's what it is.
That's not. That's a 20-year-old Eddie Murphy right there, too, man.
I don't remember this.
I love this clip.
That's called the quarter blood technique. You do that, a quarter blood will drop out of a person's body. Tell how you beat on a cop. Wasn't no cop, man. Was
plural.
Cops. Plural. 9, 10 cops. Beat the shit out of 10 cops and change strategy around.
Yo, when they brought you in here and booked you, you was crying like a pussy.
Yeah.
When the cops fell, he threw tear gas in my face. And that's the kind of shit they use on crowds, man. I still walking in here like a man, so get out of my face, all right?
I mean, you beating up on a man, you putting a man in the hospital. How come I don't see no marks on you?
Those are dudes from the band.
Man,
from his band.
Karate man bruised on the inside. They don't show their weakness.
Karate man.
You know that because you a big Barry White looking mother.
Get off my back, all right?
There we go.
All right, I love that clip, man. Bulls rookie guard Denzel Valentine went scoreless on 0 for 6 shooting through 3 quarters in the Summer League Championship versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, but it was his late game heroics that secured the undefeated Bulls to the title. Valentine hit the tying three-pointer in the final seconds of regulation, then made a jumper in overtime to give the Chicago Bulls an 84-82 victory last Monday night, Tim.
Well, this was Summer League ball, right?
Absolutely. And
so they were in the final, 6?
Yes, they were in the final 6, and they won. Good for the young man. Give him some courage to be able to take that shot. Absolutely. And also, Bulls newcomer, Mr. Jarius Grant, acquired from the Knicks in the trade for Derrick Rose, was the MVP of that championship game.
Look at that.
With 24 points and 10 rebounds. Speaking of the Chicago Bulls, Tim, the Bulls signed guard Isaiah Canaan, who's a 3-year veteran and spent most of the past 2 seasons with the 76ers of Philadelphia. He averaged a career high of 11 points last season while shooting 36% from the field and just over 36% from long range, hitting 176 of 485 three-point attempts.
Here I thought you were going to say they signed Isaiah Ryder.
Yeah, right, Isaiah, right? J.R. Ryder?
Yeah.
I don't think so, man. Maybe about 20-something years too late.
The East Bay Funk Dog.
Right. Canaan was one of 11 players in the NBA who made 4 or more three-pointers in at least 20 games, Tim, and audience. He signs for a 2-year deal, although the terms were not disclosed. On to some Bears news, man. I know you know this young individual, or this not this young, but this certain future Hall of Famer, we could say. Bears cornerback Charles Peanut Tillman signed a 1-day contract and retired as a member of the beloved Chicago Bears, where he spent 12 seasons. Drafted by the Bears in the second round in 2003, Tillman departed last offseason as the club's all-time leader in defensive touchdowns with 9, interception return touchdowns with 8, and interception return yards with 675. Tillman's 36 interceptions are third in team history behind safety Garry and Richie Pettibone. The 2-time Pro Bowler cornerback also forced 42 fumbles for the Bears, including a career-high 10 in 2012. Tillman also won the prestigious NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year Award in 2013.
He certainly did.
For his community service activities and excellence on the field.
Certainly deserving of...
Absolutely.
Of a
Love
Hall
Peanut.
of Fame.
One of my favorite, probably the best Peanut moment that I can remember of all of his great, besides the ball punches, when he snagged that touchdown right out of Randy Moss's hands in the end zone to secure the victory for the Bears win. On some sadder news here, actually another sad connection with a Northwestern alum or colleague. Former head coach of the Northwestern Wildcats and Big Ten Coach of the Year in 1982, and former Vikings and Cardinals head coach Dennis Green passed away Thursday night from complications of cardiac arrest at the age of 67. Green led the Vikings to 8 playoff appearances in 10 seasons, reaching the NFC Championship game in both 1998 and 2000. But Tim, as you're queuing up the audio, he's best known for his post-game rant in 2006 when his Cards blew a 20-0 lead against the Super Bowl bound that year Chicago Bears. They are what we thought they were.
4 picks against Grossman and 2 fumbles. What did you see about the Bears? We shut them down that way?
No, we just the Bears are what we thought they were. What we thought they were.
Defensive giants.
We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Remember they turned this into a Snickers commercial?
Right. All those, man. Coors Light commercials, too. And Tim, honestly, man, he called their card, man. They're exactly right. They were a great defensive team. You had Urlacher and his, leader of that defense, but you had Rex as our quarterback. And he probably said, he could have said, hey, man, Rex is the type of quarterback to fumble the snap twice in the Super Bowl appearance against the Colts, man. He called them, man. They weren't as good as we thought they were. I mean, of course, we're supporting them regardless.
But they were going up against Peyton, dude.
Right. But still, though, man, come on, man. I mean, you want to erase, no disrespect to the 85 Bears and that great Super Bowl team, man, but come on, man. You got to win one on your own, man.
Yeah.
You had the chance. You start off the game in one of the most incredible and awestruck ways with the great Devin Hester returning. How better to start off a Super Bowl, man?
Dude, we were at a friend's house, and under where he lived, underneath they had a bar. It was a bar, and then apparently they were upset with all the noise we were making after that kickoff return, so they threw the switch on the breaker on us.
Oh, bastards!
We flipped out, dude. We were downstairs with bats and pitchforks,
but no guns.
No guns.
Good man.
We were gonna slap somebody around.
R.I.P. Denny Green, man. He did his innovator for a lot of African American
and
coaches. He paved the way for such likes as Tony Dungy, speaking of that, and Lovie Smith, that great Super Bowl matchup, and R.I.P. man, and again the former Northwestern head coach here, man. So
we say so long to two former Northwestern alum.
Absolutely. And I got one more on a little Sox note here. If things couldn't get worse, man, the lack of run support and blown leads, misery continue for the Southsiders as Monday night versus the Mariners, the White Sox All-Star Chris Sale was pitching a shutout through 9 innings when Robin Ventura, that is, pulled him for closer David Robertson. A 3-0 lead seemed pretty secure, only to have Adam Lind hit a 3-run homer to give Seattle the 4-3 victory after giving up a single to Franklin Gutierrez, walking Nelson Cruz to bring the tying run to plate. Kyle Seager, Kyle Seager hit a run to with a single to center field. So, yeah, the Sox are just bad. It's time. And then actually Chris Sale was just benched and sent home, rather, this afternoon for cutting up the throwback jerseys that they have to wear.
What?
Yeah, so he's not happy right now. And how could you be, man? You go in there, pitching your butt off, get pulled, only to not even want to reach that 15th win.
So
he still can't do it.
Looking at an article here, it says UniWatch, Chris Sale not the first to protest the uniform.
Yeah.
What's the hullabaloo?
That's the hustle right there, man.
What's it about?
He doesn't want to wear it. They don't like them. They're not comfortable in them, and he decided to take a pair of scissors. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but Rick Hahn, who should be on his way out too, in my opinion, released a statement saying that it was non-physical, non-confrontational, but basically for insubordination he was sent home.
Well, I mean, that is company property.
Of course it is.
You can't do that, man. You can protest all you want, but don't ruin their stuff, dude.
I like his fire and I like his passion. I'll give him that he's able to speak up. Maybe this will try to get some sort of anger, this mean streak in him. Maybe. I don't know. We have the Crosstown series coming up, which we desperately need a win there.
So
we're going up against the Cubs, Timmer, 2 games at U.S. Cellular, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, weather permittable because we got storms coming up ahead.
The game tonight was rained out and suspended at
good old Wrigley Field. And then Wednesday, Thursday at the beloved confines there on the north side, and Ashland and oh my God, here. How am I supposed to? Ashland and Sheffield. That's right.
So the Sox game was postponed.
Wait, Ashland and Sheffield. Where am I, man? I'm not a Chicagoan. Clark and Addison.
Wow, yeah, Addison and Sheffield.
What is that, man?
What are you thinking about? Where the Stro? Is that the Stro?
No, it's not. The address is what I thought it was.
Yeah, it's like 8801 Clark or something.
I know that's where
he says it in
Blues Brothers.
That's
right. That's where they sent him. And actually, remember the late great John Candy just had the clap on. And the marquee lit up, man, and Uncle Buck. Love Uncle Buck, man.
So the Cubs and Sox both play tomorrow. Sox take on Detroit. I don't know when they'll reschedule the doubleheader, but the Cubs, who also lost to the Brewers today,
they did lose.
John Lackey could not find a start for a win today. Maybe his next start.
6-1. He gave up several home runs in that game today, Tim.
Yeah, but the one thing that I'd like to point out is that yesterday's game, when Fowler came back, his first at bat, he hit a home run.
Yeah.
So he's not missing a step at all.
Well, we'll see, man. You got a lot of teams gunning for your guys, man. It's not going to be easy. Nobody said it would be.
Man, the Cards,
the
Giants,
the
Giants,
the Nationals.
The Nationals are on a little skid here. And
well, the Giants ended up first place before the break, and they've lost like 4 or 5 in a row.
The Cubs are like 4 out of 5 in their last.
Yeah.
Well,
they seem to right the ship temporarily, even though with the loss today. But
they made some acquisitions.
Yes, they did.
They picked up a huge left-hander from the Mariners, dude. I've been watching this kid earlier this season, and he's got lights out stuff.
Okay.
And
we'll see, man. Hey, man, great for the city if they make a run at it, man. If they truly make a run at it,
he's got potential to be a 5th starter, or he can be a long reliever, which is what the Cubs really need is some quality relief to come out of that bullpen. You can't have Wood and this other guy pitching every game. It's ridiculous.
Right.
So we knew they were going to make some moves, and they certainly did. We'd also like to point out that the Holly home fight had concluded tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the venue was, where it was being held.
The United Center.
Was it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but apparently Valentina Shevchenko works over Holly Holm for an upset victory.
Yes, she did.
She hasn't looked good at all since her loss, and
she's knocked out Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, she does.
Absolutely.
She hasn't looked good since that fight.
She was hitting her all day with that beautiful overhand right,
left,
man. A la Mayweather.
She's got some lefts too, man.
But that right hand was just picking off, man. Ronda Rousey, go back to Hollywood, woman.
Yeah, take that mess back to the Broadway.
To the Fast and Furious franchise, girl.
So according to MMA Junkie, another woman's bantamweight headliner, another upset. Valentina Shevchenko, 12-3 in the MMA, 2-1 in the UFC, picked apart ex-champ Holly Holm, who is 10-2 in the MMA and 3-2 in the UFC, to earn a unanimous decision, adding another upset to a division that's seen a revolving door of champs over the past year. That's probably accurate.
That's not always a good thing, though. Remember, we're talking about that, and remember when I called in and spoke to you and to Toby, you need to have some sort of brand recognition. Ronda Rousey had that, was their darling for many pay-per-views, and was their moneymaker and machine.
Yeah, and then she tried to turn all Hollywood. And
well, not just that, but I mean, she just basically, I think, took Holly Holm for granted. But I don't know if it's a good thing to have that type of revolving door with the women's title, man. You need one person to be dominant, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good.
It's still early in the women's division, though. Like, they just opened that side like 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Right.
So, I mean,
I still like to see, like, one person just dominate steadily instead of, losing after losing after losing.
But you could think of what's her name, Rousey, is like the Rocky Marciano of women's UFC. Like
What's
she was
that?
one of the first big names that
Pioneers?
come up.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I mean, it's still early in the sport, and they're I don't know if we talked about it last time, but Ari Emanuel's company bought the UFC for $4 billion.
That's right. Rom's brother, our good old.
And Joe Rogan was saying how if they sell, he would quit, and he hasn't made any statements.
No,
since.
he's still the figurehead of the company.
Yeah, well, I mean, Fox is still like their TV show,
right.
So, and he's employed by Fox.
Of course he is.
But I mean, if they really wanted, they could be like, well, we want new guys to do it all. But
why, man? Why fix it if it ain't broke?
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And you need guys like Brian Callen and the other guy who what's it? Brandon Schaub, who's on Fox as well, who's a fighter as well as a analyst and commentator. And you need getting rid of these guys would just be like throwing it all in the garbage.
And you need Joe Rogan to come in with the quick quips. He's a comedian.
He's a comedian, and he knows all the techniques and the moves. He does. He's an actual fighter himself. So I mean, it'd be great.
And he does stand up too here locally, man. I mean, not
he's
locally,
actually
but he's at Chicago Theater.
Man, there was a comedian here this weekend or next weekend I wanted to go see. I can't remember who it was, but Nick DiPaolo.
I know Nick DiPaolo, man. Yeah. He performed all the time at the Schaumburg Improv.
Yeah, we seen him at Zany's one night.
Funny guy.
But I think that's got to wrap it up for us, Jay.
There's something on me you may not know about me, Joe Rogan. I smoke rocks.
I smoke rocks, Joe Rogan. So this has been the LOERadio Show, or what's left of it. I think I may be changing the name of the show soon. I don't know. We'll have to debate that in the coming weeks.
Should be laugh or listen, man. Listen or laugh.
Listen or else.
That's right. Listen or else.
My name is Timur Radicek. With me tonight has been Jay Sell, or this morning, actually.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Jay Sell, I hope you come back and hang out with us next week.
Of course. It'd be my pleasure, sir.
We will be back next Saturday at approximately 12 a.m., that would be Sunday morning. But
Central Time, yes.
If you'd like to check out more from the show, you could do so by following us on the Twitter. Use the hashtag LOERadio. You could also use that hashtag on YouTube to find previous shows and clips we cut up for listeners. With that said, I don't really have anything to play us out here. We could do some Cypress Hill, since we were celebrating
23 years of Black Sunday, baby.
Give me the name of a track off of Black Sunday.
Well, how about the most well-known track, Insane in the Membrane?
Oh, we could do that.
That's fine. Oh, insane, got no brain. Why don't mess with the big bro?
So we'll leave you with that, but check us out next week I've been Tim Radicek, and this has been, well, it still will be once we're signed off, WNUR-FM, Evanston and Chicago. We'll leave you with this from Cypress Hill.